Don't die on me now, Lacoste. Breaking some legs over there, but we got a series to cast, and it's Liquid Falcons for the 18th time. This is teams that know each other like the back of their hand. Well, at least they think they do.
Yeah, they do. They really do. These two teams have met so many times. In 2025, last time they met, it was when Liquid met them in the upper bracket and then knocked them down, and then Falcons got knocked out of the tournament, and Team Liquid did end up winning that tournament. Dream League Season 25, the Falcons were victorious and at the Fisher Playground as well. But yeah, in 2024, they met so many times. It was in favor of Falcons, but yeah, these two teams, they know each other very well, and there's going to be a quick reconnect. Malrine is ready to go. This Doom pick is not what I expected Falcons to go with. It doesn't strike me as, wow, this Doom game, this is it. It's countering, you know, Lifestealer or anything like that. It's good against Enigma, so you have something, but Enigma, a lot of the times you see this hero, especially recently, not even opting to go for a BKB as his first item. It's more about the auras, pick up those drums, bongo boots as well, tank up, get some pipe online, because there's a lot of magic damage from Bounty, Sanking, Ancient Apparition, and if he gets those two big items online quickly, I feel like Team Liquid could really snowball out of control.
Right. And well, what's the deal these days with throwing off-lane heroes mid? We're seeing this more and more. The trend is becoming very popular. Now you've got a Sand King mid, something we used to kind of see like a year or two ago. But what's the deal? Why are we seeing so many off-lane heroes willing to make that move over mid?
In Sand King's case, this hero doesn't really have that good laning stage. Every single time we watch him from the off lane, he loses the lane. You saw in the previous game where Sand King was jungling starting at minute 3 pretty much. So in the mid lane, you don't get that treatment. You're getting all of your spells relatively early on. Your matchups are much better, and you're getting the levels exactly what you need. And to go back to the Doom, you're also going to be playing into Tiny. I don't know who's going to be the Doom target here. Most likely Ember Spirit. Tiny's not the perfect target considering that he's playing with Insurmountable, so he's getting all that status resistance. He's also going to be building into SNY, so the Doom is not going to be lasting as long. And yeah, I kind of like the team fight. Team fight from Team Liquid is definitely much, much better. You have Silencer, you have Enigma, you have ways to set things up, Wheel of Wonder as well. Every single hero has some kind of a stun, some kind of a lockdown, which makes the game easy to play.
We'll see how easy it feels and how easy it ends up being for these teams, and we'll end up getting that first blood. Got this sentry down and ready for Malrine, and I'm interested to see what Skitter does with this TB early on, because did end up taking that Metamorphosis level 1. Sometimes we see it, we see Reflection level 1, but it doesn't look like they're going to get any kills out of this. Obviously, here to just kind of secure some farm. That's what you can do with Metamorphosis as well early on. But is this kill really or is this lane really a killer lane for either side?
It definitely is for Liquid. They're not going to be winning this lane. Ancient Apparition, Terrorblade, it's a super weak lane. You have no ways of setting things up. It's a lot of harassment. Something that AA doesn't like to play into is any kind of Zoo, any kind of summon hero. This is where he really struggles. And you're also playing against Ringmaster. So the trade, if you get hit by that Impalement Arts, Malefice, you're definitely dead.
Could be very dangerous to deal with. And we've seen some teams kind of move Ancient Apparition to the 4 for a little bit more priority there. What do you think during the draft or in this lineup was the reasoning that AA is not going to that 4? We saw guys like Planet really love that 4 Ancient Apparition.
I think the hero shines the most out of 5. It doesn't really scale that much with items compared to some other position 4s. Sure, you can get Gleipnir. You can still get that from position 5. We saw Snaking yesterday when he was playing Murta that he does get priority. And you also have Bounty Hunter on the team, so extra gold will be kicking in if you're going to be involved in those kills.
Does have to get that level 6 for that track to start kicking in.
Yeah, I was also checking the numbers on Falcons specifically in the last couple of tournaments. And this is the team, like Crit, in all of those, did have the lowest amount of farm. Because Amar takes a lot of farm as a position 3. And so does Snaking. He's playing some of these position 5s that take a lot of farm. Yesterday when he was playing Muerta, he was also the one that utilized that farm pretty heavily. He had the highest damage on the team when he was playing Muerta. But this is also classic Falcons. I think they are the ones that I would say not invented, but they reinvented the strat with the gold. So you have Doom with the Devour, with Hand of Midas, with Track, with Stacks. Tundra they were also the ones who were doing that, creating gold out of nothing. And this is something that definitely can be exploited. There's something to it where you're just getting that extra bit of gold, turning that into items and keeping the pressure onto the enemy team. Game did slow down a little bit. I thought there's going to be slightly more pressure on the side lanes, especially on the bottom lane from Liquid. Tiny, not the easiest hero to kill. He has 1000 HP at level 2.
Yeah, a lot of health in these early levels for Tiny. Some decent damage done to Amar. I'm not surprised with the pace of the game after yesterday's Falcons series. It feels like this team is very methodical and maybe tortoise-like when it comes to their gameplay. But
why not turtle-like?
I just wanted to say tortoise. But the tortoise is a turtle.
Every tortoise is a turtle, but not every turtle is a tortoise.
Yes, I think. I'm not a zoologist. But
you said that with confidence, and
but then you start asking questions.
Because I don't know the difference.
Yeah, but then you look at me for answers, and you've known this. I'll say the first time, like, real confidently. Second, you start, like...
I know the difference between crocodile and alligator.
Which is?
One you see in a while, the other one you see later.
Just... Take it away. I can't with that.
Back to the bottom lane. Still 0 damage onto the tower. Ice Vortex is not doing that much to Eidolons because they do have high magic resistance.
Yeah.
A little surprised that he's not putting in some pressure. The damage is going to be there. This tower is definitely going to fall. They bring in Ember Spirit. They get a kill. There's really no control. I think Malrine is going to need to mimic the moves that Nisha's going to be doing from this mid lane.
All of a sudden under tower, he takes some damage, though, Malrine. Nisha, we'll see when he's ready to move where he goes, and if it is ending up bottom, if maybe there's a rotation coming out from, say, the Bounty, who's already bottom, trying to get a kill here on a Boxy, but the first blood goes to SaberLight. And Boxy,
he's living,
he does
not
die.
For long.
Yeah, the Vortex is there, but they get Skeeter, and SaberLight's got a double kill. They want Snake King. Nisha's also dead. Epicenter used over mid. So it ends up being a 2 for 2. I'm a little surprised at the solo kill there from Malrine.
Malrine, he was level 6 and pretty much killed him from 100 to 0. Did keep him low. He did keep him low for some time. TB finishing off his power treads. Crit, the lane was in a good spot. I can't really blame him.
Yeah.
There was Doom farming underneath the tower, so he saw this opportunity. Goes to the bottom lane. Tries to make a move, but damage from Ringmaster at some of these early levels, it's way too much.
The Impalement Arts can be tough to deal with, and Crit's got an eye on Boxy, but they don't see Crit for the moment. Can't really make a move just yet, and you've got Skeeter who's gotten back to the jungle. This tier 1 tower very vulnerable. They've left the Enigma by themselves. I like this. You get to that level 6, you get these items online a little bit quicker, especially these drums. You're talking about the bongo boots that you want to see. Having the lane way open like this feels very good for SaberLight.
I want to see a rotation to the bottom lane after they pick up the XP rune. They were also afraid that maybe Bounty is going to be picking it up. It's one of the best heroes, so now they're bringing 3 heroes just in case they're there on time. Boxy and Insania will get that XP rune, and so will crit on the other side. So yeah, I want to see the pressure. I want to see heroes move to SaberLight's lane. Unfortunately, he's still not level 6. Ideally, you would want to be level 6 so that you have that black hole, use it on one hero, get a kill. Also, in terms of the stuns that they have, they don't have many. You have Bounty Hunter with the stun, which is not the easiest to execute, and then you have Burrow Strike. That's about it. Infernal Blade.
And potentially Hoof Stomp.
Yeah.
Or War Stomp. Malrine down here just continuing to farm while Insignia and SaberLight maybe look to go for Malrine. Boxy also showing up in a TP out from Malrine back over towards mid, as Nisha now with that chilling touch, Burrow Strike a little bit short. However, some decent damage onto this Ember, who now has an Ice Blast coming his way, but Remnants towards bot and fills up that bottle with an amplified damage.
Panel talked about maybe there's some new tech coming out from mid-sanking, whether he's going to be rushing Blink Dagger or going for something else. Road of Atos, I really like this. This item has been really good for quite some time now. It gives you exactly what you need on a lot of the heroes, especially on the supports, but you can also get it from the mid lane. It's a good, cheap catch set up for your... If you initiate with Burrow Strike into Road of Atos and then get the Epicenter on Ember, you could definitely get a kill with like one follow-up hero.
Ooh, thinking about the Epicenter, now the Sunder. Skeeter throws that Sunder out, and he might pay for it with his life. Black Hole comes in, Nisha's gonna survive, and all of a sudden, Malrine, Burrow Strike just gets the kill on Anisha, but ends up falling.
First Black Hole usage. They killed the tower relatively early on at 8 minutes, which does allow SaberLight to play a little bit more aggressive, go inside of the enemy jungle, and prepare for it. Game in pretty even state. That extra bit of a gold from Doom is kicking in. They're keeping it equal for now, but yeah, I feel this type of a lineup from Liquid, as we said, once SaberLight gets his items, drums his own line, he's going for pipe, as expected in this type of a game. You want to tank up. I also want to see SaberLight move to the mid lane relatively early and try to play maybe with a 10-minute catapult so they can put the pressure. Right now, I'm not seeing the heroes from Falcons. They can easily defend the towers. They can try to set things up with a Sanking and Blast from Ancient Apparition. Other than that, they don't really have the heroes. Like Ice Vortex, Sandstorm, this is going to be your defense.
Kind of relying on hoping to get to that track gold as well, but Crit right now only level 4. Not really seeing all too much just yet. I will say he's level 4, but this Ancient Apparition being over 6 this early on is pretty crazy. Having Ice Blast available, I would have said turns into more kills at this point, but they haven't really made that Ice Blast work yet. Everything's still pretty quiet after that one skirmish. Arcane Boots finished for Snake King, and you're kind of right. Snake King's kind of taking the priority away. He is much more farm than we see Crit on this Bounty Hunter at the moment, especially if he does in fact end up dead.
Level 4 bounty.
Remnant forward, Sleight of Fist, and they get the kill.
There's not much they can do about it, and as you can expect, Team Liquid, they're playing with the catapult, they're bringing in numbers, both of the supports, they have a global silence to back him up, and also SaberLight. He's coming in, they want to be able to close out this tower. Sandstorm has already been used, it's covering some of the area, but look at the angle that SaberLight approached. It's not going to be enough, so the tower is going to fall. Malrine tries to go for a deny play, but doesn't get it in the end.
Thinking about going for Amar, they've got the Wheel of Wonder, and he is taunted up. Trying to run, but another Impalement Arts toss up into the air. Here comes an Ice Blast with a Doom. That lands, but can they save him? Arcane Curse on a Crit with the last word. So he'll be silenced up, TP out from Amar, but the Remnant over, and they're going to get another kill here on the Crit. And another +1 for this Silencer of Insania. Turns out that illusion, and that Rod of Atos isn't going to matter, but they've got the Burrow Strike, and it won't land. Epicenter thought about, but there's the fear with the Tame the Beast. They'll TP out. Malrine can't get anything done.
He's super tanky. 2,000 HP on Sanking at 11 minutes. They used first Doom. They didn't get the kill, even with Ancient Apparition ulti connecting there. They need a little bit more. Turblade also not joining in any of these fights. Crit is the one who's struggling the most. This is a very difficult game for him, where he's level 4. They kind of rely on him getting that early level 6 so that he can start being more active on the map. And right now, in the mid lane, oh, look at this damage.
Oh,
finds the perfect rune. And
Black
another
hole.
Black Hole.
Yeah, using this off cooldown and getting this kill and another +1 for Insania.
And that's going to be another tower. I don't think that the Falcons have enough to defend. There's just not enough damage. And also, this pipe, it's going to come online relatively soon on Enigma. This is a big timing. Needs another 800 gold to finish it off. They're going to smoke. SaberLight for now, solo pushing. They do have a kill threat on one of the heroes if they go with the Burrow Strike and Ancient Apparition Blast. It's a lot of magic damage. Ice Vortex is maxed out, but the damage has already been done.
Oh, Global Silence stops that combo. I mean, the Rod of Atos was the only part of that combo that they even got off.
That's it. They baited Global Silence. Long cooldown, 120 seconds.
You could also say they saved SaberLight very preemptively. Like you said, he's not too far away from that pipe. Still no track here for Bounty Hunter. He's just level 5, but they finally find SaberLight, and it's not going to matter this time. They get the kill. Malrine gets credit for that one, and this tier 1 tower top. Mosquito here in the Metamorphosis should be dead.
Supports are just doing so much more. On side of Liquid, you have 2 big team fights. You have ways of disengaging the fight. This Rod of Atos, first, it got him a Global Silence out of it. Now it got them another kill, and it's also putting quite a lot of pressure on Tanisha.
Put the pressure on him, and he almost remnants into Doom there. It was close, but doesn't end up mattering. Snake King is quite literally shadowing Malrine. Wants to hit that Ice Blast, wants to be there for the potential of a kill. Also helping him take these stacks. 8 to 6 on the stacks at 14 minutes.
Both of these teams known to be stacking quite a lot. Liquid, this time around, I would maybe expect slightly more, but because you have Enigma, which does allow Boxy to be more in the triangle, you're pulling the lane back. So far, SaberLight had a pretty good game on Enigma. Did kill 2 towers, did get multiple kills, used his Black Hole early on. Nisha is getting close to his Mage Slayer, which is going to be great against Sanking. Now you're going to have combination against Ancient Apparition, which is all magical damage, where you have Mage Slayer and you have Pipe as well, 15 minutes into the game.
Win probability of 53-47, and now they've got access to track, so we'll see if the gold ends up boosting up for Falcons or if it's just a little bit of a bait. Insania getting the kill, the escape back, Burrow Strike comes through with the Infernal Blade. And Boxy's dead here with the commitment of the Epicenter from Malrine. I'm wondering if they want to go in and try and swipe this Tormentor.
They don't have the best damage. Snake needs to be careful. Like, this is a bit of a slower damage. Sinking. Dropping the Sandstorm.
The only thing I was going to say is if you get an early shard for this Silencer, he's been involved in a lot of these kills, and all of a sudden you're brain draining these heroes pretty heavily.
Early shard on Bounty Hunter could make a difference. It does allow you to use Shadow Walk on one of your allies, so you can hide Sanking, you can play with Doom, which would give you both of you invisibility, and then you can try to go for a play, which makes things a lot easier to execute. Amar immediately stopped that TP.
Tame the Beast fears him up, and this will be a kill onto the Doom. Another +1 for the Silencer, who is currently at 7 on the brain drain, but imagine an early shard here. Global Silence committed, but the Ice Blast already came through. Nisha's pretty low. Should survive this Ice Blast level 1. Not really that big of a deal. He's okay.
It was level 2 Epicenter. Still not enough. Mage Slayer keeping him alive there. Still a 2k gold lead for Falcons. As you said, slow, methodical. This is how they play. Getting farm somewhere else. Look where Skeeter's farming right now. He's on the, like, you don't even see him. He's on the complete opposite side of the map. That icon on minimap, is that Terrorblade? Because I can't even see it. Orbs, yeah, that's TB. Yeah, now we can.
Yeah. It's up there. It was hidden under an illusion icon. But now he's coming over bottom. When you've got that large outer rings, it does seem a little bit difficult to spot. And Insania Arcane Curse, but the damage is going to be overwhelming enough to get this kill. The average match time or game time for Falcons, 43 minutes.
They had some longer games, even though I feel yesterday they could have closed them out relatively early, but this is how they like to play, especially the third game where they were playing against Medusa when the break mechanic came through. Tidehunter died once, Tidehunter died second time, so every single time the hero dies, they're like, okay, we need to farm up a little bit more, farm the whole map, get the Roshan, get the third Roshan, even in some of the cases yesterday. But yeah, a bit of a slower team. I feel like this team just takes it very long when it comes down to closing out the games. It's been their specialty. This is the old Tundra style.
Crit is in trouble, and Insania is here, but here comes the Burrow Strike with the epicenter of the Ice Blast flying through. Can they save him with the escape back? No, he can't. Malreen's going to get that kill. Another Impalement Arts as well as a Blood Grenade onto Malreen as they come over from the side with Nisha to put the attention onto the Ancient Apparition. Should be at least able to get Snake King. They end up losing Boxy. TP attempt from Malreen, and he is out inside that Sandstorm.
Tiny still hasn't been involved. This is the time where Tiny wants to come. He has his Shard, Echo Saber, Shadow Blade ready. Shard is your farming tool, so is Echo Saber. So we can now expect Mickey to get involved in some of these fights. He had been pretty slow, as you would expect from a carry Tiny. They've been playing 4 versus 5. They should be able to utilize this Pipe Mage Slayer combination that they have. Try to look for a fight. Global Silence is up online. I think they try to look for a fight, get a kill, maybe 2 in the enemy triangle, and turn that into Roche. Roche still on the dire side for another 30 seconds.
Then it'll be taking that walk all the way over to the other side. They saw Insania, they go to the Global Silence early on. Insania, though, with the last word, that's going to silence up the Doom. The side of Fist Searing Chains. Insania survives this with the Sandstorm down. Avalanche and the right clicks with the toss. Snake King's dead to the Tame of the Beast. Boxy gets that kill. Impalement Arts don't land, and on the back lines, they've got Nisha deterring Amar from going for Insania, who's picking up the Brain Drains. They've got the track out there on Tiny, but that doesn't really matter if they can't get these kills.
They definitely wanted some bigger targets. Tiny, he wants to cut into backlines, try to kill off somebody immediately. Ancient Apparition is the perfect target, but they couldn't find any other openings. That Global Silence came in immediately. He used it to save himself, to get out of the trouble. And now with that amplified damage on Nisha, Malreen, he's in. This might be the time where they say, okay, where's Tiny at?
Yeah.
Maybe we have enough to go for Roshan with amplified damage, and Ancient Apparition ulti just missed, but Tiny, he is far away from the fight.
He's TPing in, and they'll have their opportunity to maybe fight and then go Roche. He'll show himself over mid.
Level 16 on Tiny.
Very farmed. Super duper very farmed, and now inside the jungle of Falcons. But Mickey back to farming. Looking at that Sanjin Yasha. So buys out on that Yasha, and nobody going ferocious yet. Radametos picked up here for Snake King. This Ancient Apparition got some farm priority. Of course, the Shard boosting up Crit's numbers. He's got that friendly Shadow to work with, but we haven't really felt the effects of that Shard. It's okay. I would say the Ancient Apparition one is probably better because I'm biased on Ancient Apparition.
It is. It definitely is. It's a follow-up as well. You have Sanking, so you can easily follow it with a stun. Use Road of Atos later, if necessary, for a little bit more control. Boxy, popping the drum.
Crit weaving, man. He avoids a lot of that Ice Blast flying through. And it has that connection, but the Global Silence was used, and now they're turning this around, or at least trying to, on a Malreen. He's low, Searing Chains, Tame the Beast to get the kill. And the look over at Skeeter, he's in pretty far. Nisha doesn't have Searing Chains just yet, but the Remnant now, the toss into the black hole! Little alley-oop! Throwing him directly into the event horizon. And Nisha, he looks for more, but just not really really having the mana
What's
to make
up
the move.
today with some tiny combinations? Team Spirit, when they were playing card, he kind of tossed himself the combination as well.
And now he just tosses a black hole in there. I mean, that is one way to get in. You don't need blink if you just get tossed in. That was awesome. Let's see it again. Escape back, Ice Blast doesn't really do that much to Mickey, and let's just keep an eye on where SaberLight and Mickey are. Just remember in your mind as the camera shifts down. Backs it up, and then Mickey for 3.
You go in.
Hits it, nails it, black hole. They'll get 2 more.
And it's not going to get easier. Enigma now has a Blink Dagger. He did have it in the previous fight as well, but he's going to start to get into the BKB territory, maybe a Lincoln Sphere as well, so that Doom is not going to be annoying him. And they also have Global Silence. I think Insania is having a pretty good game. He's 4-1-8 on that silencer. Good amount of brain drain. Didn't have Shard, but they could potentially get it in a minute because first one did belong to Bounty Hunter. And also Mickey. We did talk about status resistance being very good in this game. You're playing against Doom, all these Road of Atos, so your status resistance is going to kick in. And that's going to be another kill.
Crit can't find space. He's not having a great game.
He got shut down completely. Level 4, 12, 13 minutes into the game.
Never really had a chance to have that track kind of matter. I mean, the game is close still, but it's not because of the track. Ice Blast flies over, lands onto Insania, and Malrine will get credit for that kill. Ags, I believe, flying out for Malrine. Or, well, yeah. So he'll have that upgraded epicenter. And we'll see if they can make that work in the next team fight, especially if it's going to mean Roche. We've seen a couple of these fights that we thought were going to mean Roche and haven't yet. Amar.
Friendly Shadow, he's looking for that Doom, but knows that there is Global Silence to back him up. And also SNY completed on Nisha, so now you'll have basically 2 SNYs. For now, it's just Yasha on Tiny, but will definitely turn into SNY. Amar is thinking about it.
Doom out, and there's the Radamatos. Even Ice Blast committed for this. Escape back's not going to matter, but the Ice Blast now lands on a Boxy. They've got the Radamatos to follow it up from Malrine. A Boxy able to walk away. I thought maybe they'd commit a little bit harder on this. Shockingly, they don't. Liquid here as the Tormentor respawns. Do they want to? Yeah, I mean, they can just commit to this. I was going to say, do they want to? Malrine is nearby, but he TP's out. And they will just grab this Torm.
I like this a lot. We've seen it in the previous game, or previous series, where one team takes Tormentor, they know exactly where they are, the other team goes for Roche immediately. Skeeter will pop his meta.
Anybody aware? Maybe Ember. But not coming this direction. They circle it. The Ringmaster circled it, but just they're not going to be there in time. It'll be Aegis for the Terrorblade.
Not the best Aegis carrier, but is a transformation hero after all, but I guess they also did not want to give it to Sanking. Doom is also not the best carrier. I love the itemization on Amar, though. This is, I'm not going to say a new tech. We've seen him do it before, but it's not Hand of Midas. You keep selling it, get drums, get blink. Instead, he opted to go for drums double bracer, makes him super tanky, then S and Y. So, because you'd still deal quite a lot of right-click damage, but if we look what he has chosen, he's all about that speed. Basically has haste when he pops the drums, and yeah, with level 15 talent as well, which makes him super tanky. Status resist. I mean, SNY is still one of the best, if not the best item in the current patch.
Ice Blast, Epicenter Burrow Strike kill on Tanisha. That's the combo they had been looking for throughout a majority of this early game. And now Skeeter's been spotted, but SaberLight comes over. They go to the dust. They got the Sunder off. But the Impalement Arts and the Tame the Beast throws him back towards Mickey. Nobody else is hitting this terribly, though. It was just boxing. A little bit of a surprise. Mark comes over. Avalanche toss. Throws him on Insania. They go to the Global Silence. That's a bit early. They global now, and that will be down, making this a little bit harder of a fight for Liquid, even with the buyback.
No global. No Ember Spirit for 10 seconds. Team Falcons, they got what they wanted from this fight.
This is going to be a tough few minutes now for Liquid, potentially, without that Global Silence.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
They want the BKB on the Enigma, but don't quite have the gold for that. Now the top tier 2s get pushed by Falcons. It's a bit of a slow burn from Falcons, but it's working. They're up 5,000 net worth. I thought Liquid were kind of putting a hold on this game, but with each kill, with each track kill, more and more gold goes the way of Falcons, making this tougher for Liquid.
Sanking plus Ancient Apparition pairing did allow them to get back into the game. Skeeter, he continues to farm, and then with those two heroes, you can easily set things up, kill pretty much any hero other than Tiny from 100 to 0. If they want to kill Tiny, they probably still need to doom him. Tiny did finish off his BKB, so 9-second BKB, SNY on top of it, going for Revenant's Brooch, wants to have that mixed damage against high armor on TB. Perfect target to kill.
Ooh, actually puts the Doom down. They're TPing over plenty of heroes, but they need to be able to go. Oh, Burrow strike on 2, Ice Blast flying through, and that will go over SaberLight. Doesn't land on Anisha, but Skeeter's on the back line. He's trying to get a kill here on the SaberLight as well as the rest, but Mickey gonna try and stand his ground. This is Malorine, who doesn't have Epicenter to work with. The missing Black Hole doesn't exactly hurt them immediately. But that being said, Burrow strikes slight, Nisha in trouble, cold feet on him, and now Mickey with the BKB. But the Wheel of Wonder, they get the kill on Anisha. Skeeter's gonna be low. He's got Sunder if he can find a target, but the Burrow strike now, well, a miss.
Oh, nice play.
But the Sunder and the Ice Vortex, and Skeeter gets the kill on a Mickey.
Ice Vortex and Reflection immediately. He also did go for the other fast on TB, not the one that we see every day. It looked like it was a zoning Black Hole bait that's going to come out from the SaberLight, where Falcons are like, okay, we need to take this fight. We use Doom. There's no Black Hole. We're still going to be taking the fight. But yeah, in the end, that Sunder saves the whole fight.
Skeeter was holding that Sunder for a while, looking for the right opportunity to find somebody, and eventually does find the right person. Puts them up a little bit more. Still have 45 seconds left on this Aegis.
This looked funny. Boxy with Escape Act while having Reflection on him. So he's trying to attack him while he's in the box. And this should be probably a tower for Falcons. There is Global Silence available. Malrine, he's in again.
They find Boxy.
Boxy's dead for a long time. 70 seconds. He used buyback in the previous fight.
Do you try to force a high ground fight, knowing there's no Black Hole for a little bit?
Dire's middle tower has fallen.
Track onto Insania. Big damage numbers from this Bounty Hunter. Nobody gonna make that jump, though, to get the kill onto Insania. And no Aegis right now, when you watch the way Falcons play, pretty much means no high ground.
Yeah, they're not even probably discussing the high ground. That's the forbidden word for Team Falcons.
High ground or just high or ground?
It's more about farm, Roshan, spread out, farm on our side of the map, get a pick off, continue to do so until we hit the critical mass, 50,000 net worth lead.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Two big items, one on each side. Terrorblade with Scotty, BKB on Enigma. Things are going to be much easier for Liquid to execute. He used that one bad Black Hole. You know, you got to get it out of the system.
Yeah. Sometimes it's the one-man Black Hole on a too tanky of a hero. Sometimes
I've seen worse ones
0.
where you immediately cast and then immediately cancel it. This one at least was there for a good second.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you kind of canceled it quickly. This one, though, is on the Terror Blade, and
That's
immediately you have repented. On Easter of all days. Look for Malorine, and Global Silence comes out. The damage
That
not
was
enough
close.
to get the kill onto the Sand King, but a blink forward Malfist now on a Snake King.
Good body blocks.
Dire's middle
He goes north. Remnant over. They spot him. Sleight of Fist, Searing Chains. And the lockdown is there. Ice Blast thrown out, but will fly forward in death. And Insania does have that shard, so he gets that +3 on the Brain Drain, which puts him at 13. I was going to be a little bit more excited for the number to come up, but 13 is not exactly big boy numbers yet.
Yeah, at this point, it doesn't really matter. It's more about that early stages and how you're going to transition. If you have between 10 and 25 on position 5 Silencer, it doesn't really matter that much.
I mean, if he gets like 6 more
60,
kills
yeah.
on Terrorblade or Sand King, maybe they just don't have the mana anymore.
We're at the point where mana pool is relatively big. Terrorblade, he has 1,600 mana, so he doesn't care too much about it. Everybody else, mana pool looks good. It's not like you're killing, I don't know, Phantom Assassin or Centaur, Troll, some of these more number heroes.
Radiant's top tower is under
Tiny.
attack.
Harpoon is ready. 4,000 HP on Tiny.
Now, if only you could do Brain Drain, but Strength Drain,
That's Undying for you.
but permanently.
What if Pudge steals Strength? That hero is not in a good spot. He had his good run with the Facet. Now he kind of feels completely dead. When the new patch dropped, we saw a couple of these players trying out Mask of Madness, Glimmer Cape Pudge with the right click, but it's just not working out. Even in pubs, you can't really see the hero anymore.
Well, tell that to my allies. Because that is the double pick. Every game, if you pick Pudge first and Pudge is immediately picked by the other team, it's banned out. They still don't know that that hero's dead, but if I'll have you coaching my games just to tell them.
Dire's bottom tower
And then you can go.
One game. I need to do it that one time to see what's going on.
Yeah.
What's wrong?
What's wrong with me and my brain? Yeah.
Sounds like you played a lot against the Silencer. You've been drained.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been brain drained pretty heavily. To nobody's surprise. Not even my own.
Crit, trying to set things up here.
Ice Blast connected onto the Silencer. Doom comes through. They do have Global Silence if they want to use it, but not really going to matter when you're dead to rights anyway here on Nisha. However, maybe a turnaround. Black Hole. Malorine caught. And they've got this Wheel of Wonder. They'll get the kill here onto the Sand King. And then at the end of that BKB, a TP out from Mickey as now into the escape back. No Black Hole, which was already used. So these supports are going to have to try to escape. Boxy may not be so fortunate, but Insania gets out, and that'll be 2 dead on the side of Liquid.
Going in, Black Hole committed to get a kill on Sand King, but they didn't lose the gem. I'm looking where the gem is. It's on Bounty Hunter right now. He was the one holding it for a long time, but does need a slot. Aghanim Scepter, BKB, going into Shiva's Guard. This is the second Shiva's. One is on... It's not about reducing the healing, because there's no healing whatsoever on side of Liquid. It's more about providing vision and getting the jump on target, also slowing them down. Falcons one more time. We'll go for Roche. Using the opportunity. Last time, it was Liquid who killed the Tormentor. Now they got 2 good kills, and they're going to transition that into Roshan one more time. Skeeter will be the one picking it up.
He's got this Aegis now, and we'll see if this is the Roche that pushes the high ground.
You see the number on top of your screen, 12,000? Does that scream go high ground?
Well, you know what bracket I'm in. Yeah. It does. To me.
Not for Falcons. I think they also got to give respect. You can't just go in. They don't have the heroes that hit the buildings. If you commit with meta and then you die once, you respawn in melee form, not where you want to be. Gotta give respect to tossbacks, black hole as well, chip damage, even Wheel of Wonder. So they will continue to farm up. I mean, we have to buckle up. This is going to be a longer game. It's been already 38 minutes, but this game is going to be a bit of a longer one because Falcons, they are the ones controlling the map. They don't want to go for the high ground, so they're looking for a pick off, maybe try to go for a poke, get a buyback out of them.
So settle it.
Yeah.
Buckle up. All right.
Get yourself comfortable.
All right.
As expected, knowing these two teams, this is how Falcons love to play. Team Liquid, they can close out the games early, but they're also very familiar choking enemies out and then going for that one high ground push. Okay, on his Tiny, seeing Butterfly, he needs to have MKB. Needs to be able, because when you have MKB and Revenant's Brooch, you have mixed damage, you have, of course, damage from Avatos. And again, same spot. Amar catching Nisha. Is this a replay?
I was just about to say, this is same exact dead spot.
He's going to tip him or use a voice line. What do you think?
I'm going to go with neither because they're fighting. Ice Blast coming in, Black Hole used, but Global Silence comes out. And can they get this kill even with the Black Hole committed? No, they can't. BKB's going to run down. They're going to think about going to the Reflection and pushing it even further, but instead they'll use the Metamorphosis with their own illusions.
Spotlight is dealing so much damage to the
Spotlight is
They die immediately.
Harpoon.
Toss back.
Toss. All right.
Like, he even blinked back.
He tried to blink back and pull him back further, but he's still alive.
Ike is ready. He's looking for a Sunder. Sunder on Tiny, and Tiny dies.
Burrow Strike has to...
Oh no! Oh no! Boxy with the box save.
Symphony of skills? I mean, the damage on him, he still gets the kill.
Oh, that was good. That was a good attempt. This is why Falcons, they didn't go for the high ground push.
All right, disable help.
Ship it, clip it. I want to see this on Reddit. In 3 minutes time, I'll check what's on Reddit. This better be a top post.
Oh my gosh. Well, I mean, just like me and you, they make mistakes. They're only human.
They are. This is why Dota is such a beautiful game. And we want to see it again. We might want to see it again one more time.
Avert your
how funny
Falcons
it was.
Fans out there.
He was hiding. He did not want to go back. I think the talk was, we got to blink in. My Sunder is ready. I'm going to Sunder Tiny and we can burst him from 100 to 0.
Okay, break. Let's do it.
There it is. Malrine. Fake pumping. Then the box comes. You saw Skeeter standing there for a millisecond, realizing what he has done. He's like, what the fuck happened? It's like, okay, now I know.
Is that Liquid's way in?
We're going to be in territory where Enigma also is going to be looking to buy a refresher.
Doom, Global Silence, but Amar going to commit. Can't get this kill, and now all of a sudden, Mickey's here with Nisha with the Burrow Strike Epicenter and the damage, but there's the escape act. Mickey gonna survive. He'll pop his own BKB. They get the kill on SaberLight after the fact. And Nisha, he'll die too, doesn't have buyback. At the end of the day, it doesn't look like that. Sunder misplay will hurt them too much.
Yeah, still getting 2 kills. Octarine Core ready on Enigma. He's running out of slots. He needs to decide whether he wants to get a Lincoln Sphere for that Doom, whether he wants to go into Refresher and then go BKB Doom, BKB Blink Black Hole onto Doom. And speaking of Octarine Core, ATF is also the one who got it.
Huh. Here they go. Tame the Beast, hits the illusion. Spotlight down, but Amar in the face of Boxy. They even have that dust and the track, so he'll escape back, but to back off for only a moment. High ground 2.0. This is the second time around. Amar pushing Boxy back again. Force staff used by Insania to send him back towards the base, but this is at least 2 sets of racks. No Ember for 50 more seconds. illusions burn out quickly.
But
Thanks
the
to the
heroes
spotlight, yeah.
So that's 2 set of barracks for them. Team Liquid, they might have only 1 fight left in the tank. All the abilities are resetting on side of Falcons. Doom is ready. Epicenter about to be ready in a couple of seconds.
Liquid, the percentages probably don't look good. Even with a Sunder that...
Yeah, I think Gabe would give them like 10%. All right, 11, generous.
Just that 1% more is generous.
It's going up.
Huh? Well, Falcons, they back up. Roche in 1:30. Could use this time to get those final items before what should be the final fight. Anything on that list standing out to you on this inventory list?
Overwhelming Blink on MR, and I also see Snaking going for Wind Waker. Yield Scepter purchased. It's still a long way until he can get it, but yeah, this is the item against the Black Hole. Overwhelming Blink is the insane. This is my favorite combination between 2 items in Dota. It's not Hand of Midas plus Boots of Travel. Sorry to disappoint you, it's Overwhelming Blink plus Shiva's Guard. It's insane amount of slow, canceling the Blink daggers, providing vision. Gets pretty difficult to take the fight between these 2.
Now, what do you go for? Doom Break or Doom Mute?
Oh, mute. This is not even an option.
Oh, okay. So you like...
It's not one of that memes where the guy's sweating, choosing between the red and the blue, like which button he needs to press.
I'm just wondering. Guess Amara likes it a little bit quiet. You mute everything, and then all of a sudden the cast sounds like...
What do you think that ability does? You mute your own sounds?
Muted myself for a little bit, yeah.
Nah, this is the old Doom. Can't believe that was part of the ability.
Double gem for Liquid, by the way. Maybe that'll help them keep the vision in this potential high ground final fight. Let's see, what does the analog clock say? Because this 252 is never correct. But it is a short Roche spawn. According to that, if you do the math correctly, which I never do, I think that's like 30 seconds. Maybe 20.
Yeah,
okay.
I'll give
no, it wasn't
30,
20?
35 seconds.
35 seconds.
Yeah.
Wait, the mouse is deciding on whether I was right or not. Yeah. Okay, you're pointing.
We're getting there, okay.
Anyway, it looks like there might be a fight over mid. As Mickey just kind of standing here waiting for Amar to come over. They've got the Doom, but now SaberLight with the BKB. He's going to throw that Black Hole. It's going to be on to this Terrorblade.
They need Mickey's damage.
But they need the damage. They don't quite have it. They'll look for the Sunder, but they've got the stun. Can he get it off on anybody?
He can.
He heals back up to full. SaberLight, Boxy, and Sadia fought him out. Reed. Nisha looking next. Ultra kill for this Sand King, who absolutely devastates Liquid.
Tiny bought a Blink Dagger for purposes where he can blink in, play with the Enigma, but he's the one who's getting doomed. Black Hole's good, but there's no real follow-up damage, and Sanking goes pretty ham. We wanted to see what Sanking's gonna buy. This will.
I'm really loving this workshopping session of the names. I was thinking of some in the green room for when I throw it back to you guys, but we'll have to wait till the end of this game to hear that. And what we're seeing in this game is Timbersaw for his second pick of the tournament. Lost his first game. That was Nigma Galaxy that played it up against AVULUS. Didn't exactly perform all too well, but like in Timber, kind of 2 different heroes than we've been seeing in this pretty tight hero pool meta.
Yeah. It's also, if we go back to, which TI was that? Was that TI in Romania, I believe, where we had Tiny plus Lycan Maybe it comes down to Aghanim Scepter. You're biting Tiny, biting the Rock, and suddenly, even like Terrorblade, it can become very, very good. Maybe if the game drags out post like 40 minutes, we're going to be seeing Aghanim Scepter on SaberLight. So could be something interesting. But the one thing that I do like is that there is Tiny with Keeper of the Light, with the recall facet, so lowering the cooldown on both of his abilities. This is also mid-Tiny, so he's going to be playing with Crash Landing facet, optimizing to have more magical damage. And looking at the amount of stuns that they have against Lycan, there isn't really that much. Unless he gets hit by Dragon Tail into Jakiro, this hero is not going to really die. They do have some of the explosive damage. I'm talking about his being in the Shapeshift. Two supports that don't really like to play into summons. That's why they picked this Zoo hero from the off lane. But overall, as a whole, I do like Falcons draft a little bit more because they have 3 strength cores. This is pretty much their bread and butter. Amar's going to be playing Doom one more time. And then you also have, which is a very good hero against Terrorblade. He can get the Sunder off. And then you also have Timbersaw. This is something that they do flex from the off lane and the mid lane. And you're also going to be playing into Lycan. You're also going to be playing into TB, Tiny. Very, very good Timber game.
We'll see how it goes. One of the questions I have is, you know that Falcons, they play this longer style Dota. They play 43-minute average games. Is a lineup like theirs built to go that long against Liquid's lineup?
It is a lot of
play faster.
They do have a lot of tower damage this time around with Dragon Knight, Jakiro even, maybe Timbersaw if he gets the shard. SaberLight, he's in trouble.
These right clicks starting to really hurt here from Snake King, but not enough
Boxy's
damage.
also very low. I want to see if the couriers are bringing healing salves. There is one coming out for Lycan, but he also can't get close with the next Dragon Tail stun. And they are also going to hit level 2 faster, so that means that they might use Arcane Curse, they might use Breathe Fire. Snake King's doing a very good job in this bottom lane, keeping them low.
Yeah, these glaives level 1 very annoying. Does hit that level 2, so we'll see if they maybe even try to get this kill, maybe on Boxy if they spot him a little bit too far forward. Arcane Curse with a couple of glaives and maybe a Breathe Fire would be surely enough, but these couriers coming in for the two of them and starting to deliver some regen. So SaberLight using that salve. He's back towards full health, and that advantage that you had, at least for them being low, is a little bit gone. And now, crit, he dies, but Mickey ends up falling in return, and that is a trade, even giving up first blood, that you'll take for sure.
Amar gets the solo XP. They're definitely going to take this trade. So he's going to have 2 points in Scorched Earth, which is going to be even more damage. They could, like, easily, I'm not going to say easily, but run them down with this Doom. Plus Jakiro, it's a lot of damage over time. They got to be careful. And mid lane, this one's going to be in favor of Timbersaw. You don't have enough damage to kill this hero early on. You definitely need to bring somebody else, especially once he gets to his Soul Ring. Snaking in the bottom. They're dealing with the wolves. Skeeter seems to be having no issues picking up that Lotus.
No, none at all. Toss under the tower. He gets a little bit low, but he is fine with that. Starting to heal up a little bit. SaberLight hit with the blood grenade, and the right clicks again. Are they going to be enough?
They're so close.
Oh, so close to going down once more. And you can see Snake King with those glaives putting some good output in, but he has to run away from this wolf, as well as Boxy doing some right-click damage to him.
Both of them have healing salve in the bottom lane, even crit. Having great understanding how much damage is going to come, allowing them to get the better trades.
Just doesn't end up being enough there. Maybe if they brought a +1, if they had Jakiro come over, be able to pull something off, but the Illuminate touches both heroes, not enough just yet. But Snake King needs to be careful. If these wolves commit,
So stupid.
maybe there's an Illuminate that flies through and does the damage to get the kill. But so far, pretty clean. Only 2 kills coming up in the top lane. And as we've seen as tradition so far with this Falcons team, it's a pretty slow, cordial affair. Courier being taken out. Couple couriers taken out. Getting a good amount of gold. But SaberLight again. Run all the way back to the tower, down to a couple of last right clicks needed to get the kill. And he's salving again.
That's Boxy's healing salve. Remember the meta where you had as a position 5 buy healing salve because you were getting the full value. This has to be one of the most miserable times as a position 5 because your carry was never happy. No matter how many salves you bought, you always needed to have that extra one.
And if you didn't, you got yelled at pretty heavily. Wolves are hitting Snake King. He eats that Fairy Fire, trying to get this kill with the Glaives, and finally gets
it. That's what he wants. +1, and then die, come back to the lane.
Full health,
they tried like 4 times to get a kill on SaberLight. Finally.
It worked. Maureen putting some damage on with the Whirling Death. 11 charges on that wand for Nisha. But you could see some damage on Insania as well as Mike, and they have to kind of hover around this tower. I mean, with the, like you said, the damage over time in this lane, the Scorched Earth and the Breathe Fire feels really destructive. Liquid Frost also hurting Mike quite a bit. 6-minute rune will be collected for the Dire side. It's just a matter of who. And it's a shield rune which will be protected by Coddle, or at least I think so. And all of a sudden he's in between it. But Nisha has the toss and will keep Maureen away, but they got Mike over top.
Right? Basically a solo kill in the top lane. They kept him
Nisha?
low. Pops that shield rune. He was baiting.
But by how much?
Tower is under attack.
It's a bait, but I guess you survive. Yeah, basically a solo kill. Wow.
Radiant's turret has been killed.
That's a lot of damage coming from Jakiro. One of the reasons you see this hero so much.
Yeah. And this tower is gone. There's not much you can do about it. Even Snaking making a rotation. Again, very good start for Falcons in the lanes. Now, I'm looking where the damage is going to come from for Team Liquid. 2 supports are not dealing that much damage. It needs to be Tiny, because Terrorblade, he's going to be in the jungle for quite some time. It needs to be Tiny who makes the rotations, like an also the very heavy farm-oriented hero.
Skeeter back to the bottom lane, going Blink Dagger. First item.
That's what he does. On Dragonite, we've seen different builds back when he was going for different facets. Armlet, Mask of Madness, but he's playing green Dragonite. Everything is going to be physical, and he also did buy Blightstone, which is very interesting. I mean, everything is, you're lowering their armor, you're lowering their armor with the Blightstone as well, and maybe you're going to be able to turn those Mad Stones into another minus armor item.
Maybe. That with the Corrosive Facet here for Skeeter, feeling pretty good. Top tier 1 tower got taken out very quickly, by the way.
Dire's middle tower is under
That is tough for Liquid, and already a 2,000 net worth lead here for the side of Falcons with all these lanes going so well. They do have a pretty fast-paced lineup, I would say. They're not super dependent on items. We'll see how they use it.
Skeeter putting pressure, trying to force SaberLight to use his first shapeshift defensively.
middle tower.
If he gets low enough here, though, doesn't Maureen just show up and kill him? And he sees him coming across the creep wave, so he's forced to use that shapeshift.
They're fine with this one. It relieves the pressure from the supports, especially Silencer. Jakiro has some ways to deal with it with Ice Bat. Silencer is basically a food for Lycan.
Middle tower.
Doom is available. We haven't seen him use it yet.
Hasn't needed it thus far. And Jakiro is getting a lot of farm top. Doom's kind of farming the jungle, but Crit's getting a good amount of jungle creeps and lane creeps as well. Like, he is in a good spot. He's looking to rush this axe.
We see that a lot. I think pro players might be trying to troll us, where they're like, oh, Jakiro, I'm rushing Shard, and then he buys Mana Boots, Glimmer Cape. This is a hero that consumes a lot of mana, but I believe this time around he might actually commit for it. There's going to be a lot of pure damage coming out if he decides to go for it. Between him, Timbersaw as well. Let's see which neutral item he's going to be crafting. Going to be Trusty Shovel. That's going to be his mana pool potentially. First
Ice
Doom,
Path
about
Doom.
to be dropped.
This is a dead Terror Blade. They don't even have to watch him die. Cool guys don't watch enemies die. Or explosions.
Dire's top
How do you watch Michael Bay movie then?
I don't. I just listen.
Turn it into audiobook.
Yeah. Avalanche. Paleman Arts. But Whirling Death, the Chakra, Malreen's fine. He avoids that other Impalement Arts, and now the right-click damage, the Global Silence even used. They've got the Infernal Blade with the Scorched Earth, and this is a dead Nisha Tiny.
They're not done.
More. Boxy on the run, and they'll get the second, as Malreen gets credit for that one. Amara looking even further, but not committing under the Tier 2 tower.
It's a very difficult game from Liquid. From start, the first shapeshift has been used defensively. Tiny died. He doesn't have enough money to buy a Blink Dagger. He's very far away from it. He needs another 1,100 gold. You're going to lose another tower in the mid lane. They're playing with the Catapult. Where's the damage? I'm just wondering where the damage is going to come from. Your Terrorblade, he doesn't want to join. He just got doomed, so he's trying to farm up. At least they're going to defend the tower just for slightly longer. SaberLight needs to be careful. There's the Blink Dagger reveal.
Yeah, that's the reveal. Shapeshift. Oy. Worried about maybe him ending up in a position where he shapeshifts and immediately dies. They're going to recall Nisha in. Macro Pyre laid on the ground. This is in a decent spot with the Ice Path coming through. Skeeter takes a lot of damage, and now the Blinding Light, but he'll end up dead. It's SaberLight who gets the kill, and
he has another combo soon.
Avalanche, Tame the Beasts, they both die. Toss on the Wolf, slowing down crit. Not exactly what you thought was going to happen here in a fight like that with how far ahead Falcons felt.
Overextending there a little bit. Good kills for Liquid. That shapeshift that was used defensively, suddenly they turn it into 2 kills and 2 pretty big kills. SaberLight should be pretty happy about this one. The item timing, when they group up together with Tiny with a Blink Dagger, maybe half another item, and then big Helm on Lycan, this is going to be the timing where they need to win a fight.
Giving a lot of
Radiant's
favoring
bottom tower is under
towards Falcons on those numbers.
Yeah. The thing about this is Doom is getting quite a lot of farm, and if they delay this Helm on Lycan, it also means that Doom is going to be getting levels, and if he gets himself to level 15, let's see, first 2 shapeshift usages are not going to be as effective. He gets to level 15, he can just devour his Ancient Creep. That's going to be pretty massive.
Yeah, then you've spent all this gold for what essentially is a...
Free gold for Doom.
Yeah, is just a Midas for Doom. McKay has to be careful about where he's at. Ooh. They've got the Wheel of Wonder. Nisha here with Boxy. Running away, Global Silence TP attempt, and he is out free. Global Silence was committed, though. Free for some. That hit. And that is a dead silencer. You should be able to take your intelligence back.
Here we go. When you kill him.
Yeah, Mallory now getting chased. They're moving around the map so effectively right now, and they are going to get another kill.
That's exactly what they need. Again, shapeshift, Tiny, paired up with Keeper of the Light, lowering the cooldown of his abilities. That's exactly what the Tiny wants to have. Like, this is the perfect combination for him. Lowering the cooldown, providing with mana. And also Spirit Vessel. I love what Boxy's doing. I've seen Keeper of the Lights from position 4 go for the other facet as well when you have enough magic damage. There's not too much magic damage from your position 1 and 3. Tiny does some, but Recall, too good of an ability. But I also seen, you know, the Spirit Vessel paired up with the other facet does quite a lot of damage. But very good Spirit Vessel game against Timber, against Dragonite, even Doom, because he has quite a lot of HP. Twisted Chakram. I love, like, some of the Dota tooltips. Twisted Chakram, when you hover over it, this facet grants the ability Twisted Chakram. Congratulations. Like, you...
Well done.
Yeah, and then you need to click Alt to see what it actually does.
Boss, I came up with the description for Twisted Chakram. It was my day's work. Yeah, what does it say? The facet grants the ability Twisted Chakram. I'm out of here. I'm going to clock out for the day.
That's a bonus at the end of the year.
You did a lot of naming. You're really good at this. Gonna take some stacks. Mickey, who is struggling, he's bottom of the net worth in terms of the cores. A lot of gold on this Jakiro. And
he is committing to it. He's actually one component away.
He's not that far from it.
Dig. Let's see what he's gonna find.
Could have been
out for now. Yeah, it could have been a Cobalt, could have been Bounty Rune.
Radiant are
If it was a Cobalt, that would be my favorite. 3,000 net worth lead here for Falcons as they're just trying to extend it with maybe a fight as they smoke up as 5. If they can win a fight here, maybe get the Torm if they're here in time. They're actually bailing from it on the side of Liquid. This could be a big fight for either team. They'll get an objective at least committed on a fight victory. But Crit already half health. Avalanche toss comes through. Crit's low. He'll end up dead. Nisha, though, he's within the trees. They go to the global silence. They just need another whirling death to get his kill. And that's what will take out Nisha. But Snake King, he's standing his ground. SaberLight, this is not going to be good for him once that shapeshift runs out. Namar's going to be sticking with him, but the Tame the Beast sends him back with a fear.
Rain, he wants more. They want the supports.
Recalling out of there. And he'll be going top with the Terrorblade, and Insania able to escape. But this
somebody made the
should
call.
Secure
we should go for Tormentor instead. Yeah, they did not want to chase. Skeeter and Snaking, they're on very low HP. Snaking, he needs to be careful. The Wolves are scouting them out.
Uh-oh.
Insania drops a dagger.
Insania. Another brain drain there. Wolves are still searching. Uh-oh. This is the life of a support against Lycan. It's not exactly fun. Nisha gonna just walk up this high ground. He's got a haste. You gotta be careful. And at the end of the day, they didn't get this Tormentor.
No, let's see if Liquid is going to be able to take it. They have four heroes around it. Insania is going to TP to the mid lane. With Helm, they should definitely have enough damage. They can basically do it with 2 heroes. DB. Lycan, a lot of illusions, a lot of extra physical damage. Let's see who's going to get it. They have good shards.
Nisha blinks in. And has the Avalanche, but they get the Doom out on Anisha. Here comes the Chakram and the Twisted Chakram. Macro Pyre in a really great spot. Nisha, Insania, Boxy, all 3 are dead.
They don't have enough. Like, it's very difficult for them to kill a core with the heroes that they have. If you look at the HP, Malrine, he's sitting at 2,000 HP, Dragon Knight 2.5. He did go back to Armlet, wants to have that, because he knows if he can survive long enough, he might be able to just toggle it, because the damage is not really explosive, especially if you remove Tiny out of the equation.
Let's take a look at this again.
He pops the haste, and then it gets dispelled immediately. And then he's just straight up dead.
Great Macro Pyre. The Aghanim's light Macro Pyre, where you throw Ice Path over the Macro Pyre.
Fake Ags.
Yeah.
Yeah, this has to be one of the fastest Ags I've seen on Jakiro. It's going to be 18 minutes. We probably have stats on that one, so we should pull it up on screen once it gets delivered. In my book, this is when you buy it, not when it's delivered, but when you have the components. Because let's say your courier's dead, shenanigans, fastest on this hero, 15 minutes faster than the previous record.
All right, somebody beat it. Get that at 17 minutes, I'll be impressed. But the fastest Ags here. And, you know, he's pretty farmed. Coddle's kind of right there, thanks to the shard. But he's kind of catching these bottom cores. He's 3K away, but, you know, maybe he gets there. I wouldn't be surprised.
It's a lot of damage. Like, your damage also turns pure, so once you get level 2 ulti, it's 150 pure damage per second, and you can't get out of it, which is going to be very difficult. Terrorblade, I think if he's going to be living long enough to get the Macropyre in every fight, and he should, considering that there is global silence, their damage is not really very explosive, so hard to kill him from under the zero so quickly. I could see Jakiro having super high damage at the end of the game. Might be like in top 3.
Well, I'll remember that.
There was a game, I think you and me were casting it during Fissure Universe, where it was Miposhka who had the highest damage at the end of the game as Jakiro with some Refresher, Octarine Core.
Ooh, blowing up Nisha, yeah, because I remember the final fight by the throne, the double Macropyre.
The zoning Macropyre, you can't get close.
They get that kill, but they do get an Aegis on the side of Liquid. Again, on Terrorblade, something we've talked about, Transformation Hero, going for this Aegis.
They have there's 3 Transformation Heroes in this game, 2 on side of Liquid, 1 on Falcons.
Yeah. Amar. Looking for a high 5, nobody to give it to.
Do we consider even Keeper of the Light a Transformation Hero?
Huh. I mean, yeah.
Kind of. Tiny's in.
Toss, and can he get a Macropyre off? No, he can't. Tame the Beast. They'll get the kill on a crit. Nisha getting credit for that one. They are all here. Gotta be careful. Maybe not expecting the numbers.
Dire's bottom tower has fallen.
I love this pickup from Amar. He did opt to go for Crimson Guard instead. Seeing that you're playing against Lycan, TB, even right clicks from Tiny, it is very good. Not just for yourself, it's more about the team, trying to protect your supports from dying instantly.
Yeah, absorb what you can. And by the way, Malrine taking that other shrine. So both shrines again going to Falcons. 3 minutes left on this Aegis. They've got everybody up again. Do they want to take the fight to Liquid? For the moment, that is not going to be the case. As Crit's finally back alive. But we'll see how they set up with this first Ags Macropyre. You've got Doom available. Have Global Silence. Like, the fight definitely favors Falcons, even with this Aegis, I would say, on Terrorblade. They're going to look to get Snake King. The recall Nisha in. They've got Mickey here. He survives for a moment, now goes to this Global Silence. But Skeeter, he's not going to find the right target, and they'll escape with Global Silence now expended.
Skeeter, even in the previous game, he blinks in, he sees the target, he goes for it. Doesn't matter what it is, whether his allies with Sunder, this time around going on an illusion. Snaking, dropping that Global Silence, he's like, I'll try to do something still, try to help out my team, but relatively good pickoffs from Liquid. They, I would even say, stole away Aegis from Falcons, considering how far ahead they are, and also getting the kills now inside of the map, slowing them down. Falcons, they want to take a real, by real, I mean fighter. They are the ones getting the jump. They are fighting underneath their vision, but haven't managed to do so in the last couple of minutes.
Yeah, I really like the moves that they're making for Liquid. Boxy, if he gets that observer vision or he sees him under the creeps, he comes close. He's already recalling, gets a hero like Tiny in with a blink that can be that initiator for him. And if you've got a +1 like we saw top, I mean, anybody is pretty much dead at the moment. They are recalling Boxy. And they've got Nisha going in, but that's not going to work out yet. Wheel of Wonder explodes, and Snake King eating some damage, but nothing too bad. No worse for wear, really. Escape back, immediately thrown out of the box. Box is going to be killed, though. And now they'll buy back on Boxy.
He's super tanky. Crimson Guard plus Aghanim Scepter, literally taking 0 damage from these right clicks. Nisha is in.
Nisha jumps in, toss, but there's the Doom. Timber Chain across. They'll try to get this kill onto this Tiny, but the Tame the Beast pushing him back once again. Malrine is about half health.
Amar, though, he's in some trouble. Has drums again to work with if he wants to turn this around and go the other way. They've got 30 seconds left on this Aegis, but these heroes on the side of Falcons are a little bit low.
Macropyre has not been used. Nisha running away. Pops a BKB. Amar tried to chase him down with that haste that he just picked up, but it was not good enough, and in the end, he gets the Sunder off. But still, you can see the power of Falcons lineup. They go in with 3 almost unkillable cores. Right now, there's still not enough damage. We didn't talk too much about Mika's items. He's going for the standard stuff. Manta-style Falcon Blade, has a casual Dragon Lance, and now he wants to go through all of that tankiness. He wants to pick up Revenant's Brooch, because these are pretty high armor heroes, and then he wants to pick up Scotty to slow them down, reduce the healing coming out from Dragon Knight and Timber.
Gem for the Silencer of Snake King. See those wolves, see those wards. And again, gonna be recalling in a hero, which is Nisha. They've done this combo before. They've also got SaberLight. They haven't seen it too. The Illuminate, the Blinding Light, but he is very quick. And now again, are they looking to turn? Gleipnir, Force Staff, Whirling Chakram, and the regular Chakram both miss. Timber Chain through the Illuminate. The Reflection used by Terrorblade. Blink forward, Skeeter going through, but now SaberLight goes into the Shapeshift. They've got the Macropyre down, but it's very zoning in this sense. Malorian's going to protect himself by staying in it. He's able to Timber Chain back towards the rest of his team, but the BKB's been popped by Nisha. They go to the Gleipnir once again. They go and throw out that Wheel of Wonder, but
Macropyre is still on.
Sunder gets used, and SaberLight ends up dead. He's the first one to fall on the side of Liquid, but they do take out Malrine. They'll look over for this Terrorblade. May get in some trouble with the Dragon Tail hitting him, but the escape back, trying to pull him out of the box, trying to figure out if they can kill this Terrorblade, but Snake King create the
has Dude ready in a second.
Get the kill there, and that's 2 heroes dead on the side of Liquid.
They want Nisha. They want to do him up.
Toss. Amar still alive. Mickey on the high ground. There's the Reflection, but now Skeeter looking for an option. Nisha's got full health. He is juking these heroes out. Toss over. Now the Avalanche. They're going to get another kill. Crit on the low ground, but there's the Blinding Light. Just TP's out in time.
What a turnaround play from Nisha. Using Fog so that he doesn't get doomed. Gets the toss, gets his combo replenished by Keeper of the Light, and they get 2 big kills. That Macropyre wasn't really doing that much, and we can see the goal change in favor of Team Liquid. 6,000 damage dealt by Tiny.
A lot of damage here for Tiny overall, and Nisha, like you said, breaking ankles. I mean, he was using those trees to find spots to stay safe, and he had full health pretty deep into that fight.
They got a first jump. This Macropyre is zoning out. Insania goes in. It lasts for such a long time. Sunder has been used immediately onto Amar. But yeah, Nisha is the one who's tossing them away from the fight. Skeeter, he goes in. Sure, Mickey, he's gonna die afterwards, but Doom was not ready at the time. They wanted to Doom up Nisha. It was just not ready, and they're not stopping now. Nisha, BKB TP out. They have nothing to stop it.
No way to stop that BKB TP. And although it's been a lead for Falcons of about 4,000 to 7,000, they haven't really capitalized on it completely. And now this Terrorblade is top of the net worth.
And another Tormentor for Team Liquid.
Now the net worth is even.
And also to point out, Doom did not go for his level 15 talent. He did opt to go for Scorched Earth movement speed instead. Even though he was moving at the speed of light anyway, if you look at his enchantment, it is also 20 movement speed. He did go for Quickened. Wants to have that. I don't even know if he needs it on level 15, because he's already have speed aura. Drums, phase boots should be enough. Like right now he's moving at 550.
Right, yeah, so I mean he could have definitely taken the other talent. Gets a solo kill, and also the Shrine.
This is the big item. Malrine, he really loves to pick up Road of Atos. Picked it up after finishing Aghanim Scepter. Turned that into Gleipnir. So AoE on his abilities are going to be increased by 75. And that's also going to be potentially a setup, because you see the supports, they are running away. Going to be a big tool keeping them inside of the Macropyre.
Meanwhile, the Lycan has picked up that Ag, so has that Wolf Bite.
sound of a bite. I don't know why you looked at me like that.
I got scared for a second, that's why.
Well, I was going to give you 40% lifesteal. Would have been nice. You were talking about this, about the TI-10?
I believe it's
Meta?
TI-10, yeah.
Tiny Lycan? Although, if I recall correctly, LGD had Tiny in Game 5 and they lost. I don't know if they had Tiny Lycan, though.
Dire are scanning.
Smokes from both teams. How do you bite into a rock? You should lose your teeth after that.
Lose some damage.
Yeah. And jumping forward, BKB, they go to the Avalanche. They've also got the toss. Crit, though, has the
Another
Macro in a
wolf's
really
coming.
good spot. Ice Path lands on a SaberLight. They're going to kill Insanity as well as Boxy. They're going to buy back here on this Ringmaster. Lose SaberLight, who is stuck in that Macro Pyre. This time the fight doesn't go that well. Nisha, though, he's part mountain, part wolf. They really don't understand how that works, but the fight overall for Falcons goes pretty well.
Yeah, you want to use that on Tiny. You do not want to use it on your Terrorblade because he turns into melee. Imagine if he pops meta and then he's like, well, this meta doesn't actually work, so he needs to get close. So you're most likely going to be using on Tiny. Nisha was toying with the idea before, after picking up Blink Dagger, to go for, you know, these Ghost Scepters and Force Staffs. In the end, he opts to go for more damage. I think he understood that he needs to scale as well. This is something that Falcons do really well. They outscale their opponents, so opted to go for more damage-oriented build. Revenant's Brooch done on him. Revenant's Brooch as well available on Terrorblade, knowing that these high armor heroes, that's one way to deal with them.
Said the last Aegis was stolen by Liquid. This second time around, Falcons, they'll have control of the pit, at least for the moment. Could throw a Wheel of Wonder in there.
Under attack.
Leipnir missed.
Bailing on the pit. Rosh is now up for grabs with the rest of Liquid coming over. They'll bite, I believe. Yeah, Nisha bitten. And now that's actually a disarm because they're the ones going for the back-to-back Rosh. Still no commitment from either side yet, though.
Nisha has Christmas lights on him.
Yeah. A dog getting stuck in the lights. Just jumped in the tree.
I think because you do have pack leader facet on Lycan, I think as a pack leader, you should take control of the unit that you bite, being the leader and everything.
So what do you do with yours?
Or tax him. I don't know. That's how it works in the human world.
Jump, Dragon Tail. They'll try to get the kill here onto this
Macro
Tiny.
Fire.
Ooh, the Timber Chain didn't actually land, but it's not going to matter.
Beautiful.
The Macro Fire does so much damage. Gleipnir now the Infernal Blade, but they have the box to leave. So Mickey, he's running away from Amar, but Amar is quite speedy, and the Sunder will send him packing.
And now that Rosh belongs to Falcons. Down to half HP. Macropire damage isn't even that great. I mean, there was 3,000 damage coming out from Doom, but yeah, I guess the reason why they also didn't go for level 15 talent on Doom is they have more than enough damage right now to deal with that creep. You don't really feel the influence of it. There's also Crimson Guard available on him. Killing Roshan. There was an attempt by the Wolves.
They had Gem, though. They see those wolves. SaberLight holding on to the ancient frostbitten gold. A lot of bites.
Cooldown reduction from that creep is 14% right now. Which is not too bad. Amar is just chasing them down with this move speed that he has. Love this build on Doom. No Blink Dagger, super tanky, runs in, provides you with vision. He was thinking about picking up Pipe as his last item, but then he's like, okay, I need to have something else, something that's going to scale slightly better. He was probably afraid of Tiny blowing them up.
Uh-oh. Gleipnir, double Chakrams, Force Staff back, not committing anything more. So maybe a Macro Pyre commitment could have been enough. Certainly a possibility, but they don't end up getting the kill there.
Under attack.
They get the tier 2 mid, though.
Has fallen.
Surprisingly, only the first tier 2 taken by them. 9,000 net worth lead. Still, I mean, the net worth lead doesn't feel insurmountable by any means for Liquid to come back in. We've seen some fights go their way pretty convincingly. It's just about the execution right now and who could be there on the foot up first.
They still have some of damage issue. Like, if you look at their heroes, there's BKB on Tiny, there's no BKB on Terrorblade, so if he's caught inside of that macro fire, both of the supports, they also don't have any like real defensive items. You get stunned, you're gonna die. There isn't much they can do about it other than putting them inside of the box, but even after the box, you're still gonna die. So pretty difficult fights for Liquid, I would say.
Have to try and defend against this Aegis. Another tier 2 gone. Last tier 2, last outer tower over bottom. Amar is moving around so quick, just looking for anything that he can. These supports would get run down if he does get a grasp on them. But they're looking to make the jump. Avalanche, Wheel of Wonder, toss up into the air, but there's the Macro Pyre, Global Silence. This is not a lot of damage from this Macro Pyre, but they TP in SaberLight. Now they've got the Gleipnir on it too. Chakrams will fly through. Chakra Magic used on Mickey. But nothing committed completely by either side. I mean, yeah, I guess Macro Pyre Global. Some pretty big cooldowns for at least the Global Silence.
Has level 15 talents. It's going to be shorter by 20 seconds. Got to be up in a minute. We haven't seen Snaking. Snaking's on the other side of the map. Continues to farm up. This is what you want to see on your silencer. You want to see him scale. Has a couple of good team fighting items, Solar Crest drums, but he also wants to pick up Refresher. Wants to have that double silence, and he's getting relatively close to it. If you look at his neutral item choice as well, Ninja Gear with Greedy, so wants to stay away from the fight as soon as away as possible, and also have that extra bit of a gold.
Okay.
So we'll get it. How many Ninja Gears? Ninja Gear
3.
3 and Whisper
2. And 2 gloves. Yeah, that's all the math I needed to do. Bloodthorn finished off for Skeeter. Minute left on this Aegis. They don't end up taking the high ground on this one. But it doesn't look as though they're going to fight. They're a bit split for that. What can Liquid do to kind of pull this one back down by a bit of gold? They've got these wolves trying to get some vision for them, trying to get some information for them to make the jump. Not so easy, though. I mean, they're looking for an opening, but it's tough, even when these heroes are split. Not finding anything just yet is SaberLight going into the Nullifier. Nisha, he wants a Lincoln Sphere. He finished that Revenant's Brooch. That Nullifier actually already finished for SaberLight. They've got the Shard on Insania, so he's got that Spotlight. But not sure how much that's going to do.
There aren't many illusions. Mischance could also be higher. I mean, they have Blinding Light. They have Spotlight, a lot of lights. Another Tormentor for Liquid.
That'll be Shard for Nisha. With all those lights and Illuminate, they really are making the map quite bright. But it hasn't been enough. Falcons prefer to stay in the darkness. They were born in it.
Molded by it.
No, nobody knew who I was until I put on the mask. They'll move up towards top, and you got to assume that Falcons are waiting for the next Aegis with the way that they play the game. Solidify the lead, get this Aegis, go up on high ground with it. They'll push these lanes forward. They'll farm what they need, but it does choke out Liquid overall. I mean, they don't have access to a lot, but what they do have access to, they're going to take advantage of. You can see Both Nisha and Mickey trying to get anything out of the map. They're on the bottom side, but eventually are forced to come back.
Slow and steady. Tier 3 tower in the mid lane.
It's the Tortoise.
Down to 300. 400 in the top lane. Slow and painful death. Roshan is dead and may respawn in a minute and 20 seconds. Liquid's gonna smoke out. Lincoln Sphere available on Tiny. He was thinking what he wants to buy. Malrine, not the easiest skill to get.
They shapeshifted. They bit Nisha. He is a wolf. Blink in, toss up into the air. They go to the global silence. Amar's going to be tossed and hit at half health, but this is a great macro pyre. But the BKB from Nisha keeping him alive. Amar on the run. Scooter trying to do the damage here. They go to the global silence once again. They've got that refresher on this silencer. The kill off Mickey. Now they'll look towards the rest. But the BKB's running out on Scooter. They need to follow this up with something more. Malrine's going to go in with the Ogre Seal Totem, find himself his hands on Boxy. The Impalement Arts don't land. He's not slowed up. They've got the Chakrams. Timber Chain across once again. He'll Yules up into the air, and he'll be down into the ice path. They'll get themselves a second, and Malrine is dominating.
They used everything on Doom. Toss back immediately into Nullifier, removing that Crimson Guard, and immediately Amar is like, you know what? I don't want that Crimson Guard anymore. So he sells it. He has Devil's Bargain. Doesn't lose that much gold. Gets BKB. Still sitting on 5,000 gold after.
Huh. A lot to work with.
5,000 damage coming up from Jakiro in the previous fight. These are the damage numbers that you do expect him to have after getting that Aghanim Scepter, and both supports actually making quite a lot of difference in these fights. Refresher on position 5 silencer, 40 minutes into the game. Jakiro also thinking about getting one for himself.
Skeeter, this would be a big kill. Probably slows down the potential Roche take if he does in fact die.
Armlet
But he
toggle.
armlet toggles back to healthy and back towards his team and blinks away.
Very nice ice bat from Crit. Connects onto everybody.
So now Roche, let me look at the clock. About a minute and a half.
I always have to check.
I'm just guessing. It looks like a minute and a half. Wolf, sneaking, both checking. It's a little depressing when you think about it. Who's doing the job? A position 5 or a familiar? You're doing the same job as a wolf.
Mic problems, apparently, for Team Falcons. They're going to fix that shortly. And yeah, almost 20,000 gold lead for them.
Yeah, they have
They're
mic
gonna be
problems,
ready to go.
but they don't have McKay problems. All right, anyway, they unpause and 19,000 net worth lead ready to go, and they have a gem on the courier for sneaking. They'll be trying to control the positioning here around Roche.
Dire's middle tower has
Make sure they can get this next Aegis. Although, again, I feel like these fights for Liquid are on the cusp of being good. They kill Amar in that last fight to start.
It's still very difficult. Like, they were chasing down Terrorblade, who has one Dispel. That's Manta style, and after he used it, Snaking was looking at him. They chased him down. Another global silence. He can't use Sunder. Doesn't have any defense left.
Dire
Right.
scanning.
He needs to be very careful. Is he building on this TB? He's going BKB, but he's far away from it. It'll be a lot of time. If somehow they get this next Roche, do you think Liquid can pull back the deficit completely?
I just don't see that one play that they do have with the heroes. Sure, Tiny's dealing quite a lot of damage when he gets bitten, so is Terrorblade if they can stand their ground, but the explosive damage is not there. Like, the 3 cores on side of Falcons are backed up by double global silence, and if you look at the HP, Dragon Knight, he does have almost 5,000 HP with Armlet on, with status resistance, literally 5,000 damage on your Timbersaw, and Doom as well, sitting at 4.2k.
So much health to have to get through.
After reductions on these 3 heroes, if you want to kill them, you need to deal like 40,000, 50,000 damage.
It's more than some teams have in a game. You need that in a fight. See if they commit for Roche. They are sticking around the pit knowing what's what. Malrine. A bit forward, toss back towards his creeps. Global silence used, though. Malorine's going to be fine. And they do have Refresher for another global. Blink in, Dragon Tail, they'll take the fight to them. Instead, they'll go to the Doom. It's going to be onto the Terrorblade.
He refreshed.
BKB
Other
from
global
Malorine.
is ready.
They'll get the kill onto the Coddle. They'll take out Boxy first and look towards the back lines. Ogre Seal Totem as well. That's a double kill from Malorine. SaberLight's dead. Doom is on the Terrorblade, who is ticking low and ticking out. Amar getting that kill and no buyback available for Mickey.
That level 25 on Timber, you're not getting away. Overwhelming Blink plus Shiva's Guard as well, available on Amar. He also did go for Yashikaya. The cast speed bonus is going to be there, so he wants to get that instant Doom. And also, after, because he's been holding onto his speed aura creep for a really long time, and after seeing that Linken's on Tiny, he wants to have something to proc it, so did pick up Mana Burn, have a low cooldown ability. Refresher on Jakiro.
Double Macro Pyre. This is what we saw with that Maposhka game that we were referencing.
Yeah, level 20 now as well. Extra 20 Macro Pyre damage.
That's a lot.
Gonna give Refresher to his Doom.
Oh.
A little disappointed, even though he's sitting on almost 4,000 gold, so can't buy his own Refresher very soon.
Timber Chain, Gleipnir, and the Chakram's thrown over onto the Coddle, backing him up. Nisha has a toss back, but this is a very tanky hero.
That's amplified
Skate
damage.
back
Timber
and
Saw with
Malorine with
cheese.
BKB. They've got the Doom. It's onto the Tiny. They get the kill to Insania. They'll eat the cheese. They'll take out Nisha. They'll take out SaberLight. And 4 heroes are dead right now for Liquid. And the bottom center Axe will also join them in a grave.
This is equivalent of you tossing Tidehunter into your own team. Maybe this is even worse, Amar. Immediately uses that BKB. Doesn't want to get tossed into the fountain. SaberLight, this is the last fight that they do have. Jakiro with the Refresher. It's coming.
Skeeter on the high ground looking to secure Megas. Nisha has BKB ready.
Do it for the lulz. Just cast that double Macro Pyre.
Yeah, has the Refresher Orb ready, and I mean, I'd love to see it. Just cross both, make an X. Or a plus sign if you straighten it out. Didn't get Megas, surprisingly. Not sticking on the high ground. 3 minutes left on this Aegis. But they are grouped up on Liquid, and they need to make a move, but Malorine takes the fight to them, and the reactor armor will explode. They'll try to get the kill to Insania. They don't get that quite yet, but they'll shapeshift on SaberLight. Turning this around, Nisha goes in with a BKB and does the damage on a crit. Takes him out. Macro Pyre down to the ground, but it's not in the best spot. They go to the Global Silence. They've got that again. They'll get the kill on both Insania as well as SaberLight. Both don't have buyback. Down goes Mickey. GG is called 2-0 for Falcons over Team Liquid.
Oh, they had their number. This strat that they've been running for ever since they formed with triple strength core is definitely working out for them. They also did win laning.